What do you remember about your grandparents?
Okay, my Grandpa Hilton was very old when I was at when I was at BYU. And I can remember, or other times coming and meeting him. My Grandma Hilton died years before, but I can remember my grandpa, and he had a big mustache, but he was very old at that time. But he did used to work in the temple, but I didn't remember that. Mm-hmm. And he married again, and his wife was Aunt Carrie. So I don't remember a lot about him, but I was able to go to his funeral because we were going to BYU when he died. My grandpa Shank lived in Salt Lake, and he lived with his son, my uncle Claire Shank, and they had a textile making very fine ladies' clothing in the back of their house. They had a factory back there that people worked for them and made these beautiful clothes. And so I remember going there almost every time we'd come to Salt Lake and seeing my grandpa, Arnold Shank. And he loved to garden, and he had the most beautiful garden. He took such good care of it. It was on the side of the home that they lived in. Huh. And he was a very, very sweet, sweet man, and a very nice featured man. But I can remember how he would show us the garden. But let's see, he died. Let's see, my sister and I were both at BYU, and he was still alive. So when we'd come up there, we would get to see him. But about that time, he got really bad diabetes and wasn't very well. And then my grandpa, Dustin, who was my mother Verna's father. Verna was my first stepmother. And she was the mother that raised my sister and I, and was so very good to us. Mm-hmm. And her father was Bert Dustin, and he and his wife were married in the temple, which was of great surprise to me. Because all the time I knew him in Farmington, he was kind of a gruff old man, and he had Indian trading posts. That's how he made his living. And he always drank coffee. I don't remember whether he smoked or not, but they were married in the temple, and that surprised me no end. Because my grandmother was very, very good in the church. She always went to church. Was very, very good. But Grandpa Dustin, I think it was the time that he lived in and working with the Indians and all of this, but he was a very good man, but he didn't live the word of wisdom. I can remember that about him. It's about all I remember, because I didn't know any of my grandma. I knew my grandma Dustin. I loved her dearly. She was Grandpa Dustin's wife. She was my mother, Verna's mother, and she was such a sweet, sweet, lovely lady, and she used to knit, and she finally went blind. She came to see us many times in Denver, and I remember taking her downtown to buy a new dress, and we went in a taxi because she couldn't ride on the buses. She was too old. Mm-hmm. And then I remember spending let's see, I can't remember, some break. Oh, it was Thanksgiving. I went down to Farmington with some people from BYU that were going down, and I stayed with her during Thanksgiving break. And I remember how kind she was. She couldn't see then, but she was always making these little hot pads to give to people. She was always very busy. But their house in Farmington, I can remember, was a big red brick house. And what I can remember most is she used to let Janice and I go up in the attic and go through her trunks. And there had all of these beautiful valentines, really fancy valentines, and lovely old hats and dresses and stuff. And it was so fun to go up there and look. And then she had a new bathhouse that husband had built near the house where she did all of her washing. And there was a mattress in there that Janice and I used to sit on, and she would give us old Sears catalogs. We would sit and cut paper dolls out of the Sears Saturdays catalogs by the hour. And I always loved to go to Grandma Dustin's because she was so sweet. And then she had a big front porch, and she had a swing that was hooked to the ceiling and came down. It was a white swing, and we could go and swing in it. We'd go back and forth, and back and forth, and that was such a treat. We didn't have any swings like that. In fact, we didn't have any swings.
Yeah.
And then they had a peach orchard, and I remember going out and picking the peaches and eating them. So, but I really loved Grandma Dustin. She wrote every week to my mother, Evelyn, and Verna. And she came to visit us quite a bit, but she is the grandmother that I really remember.
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
and let's see, the Hilton grandparents, my Grandpa Hilton always went to the temple and worked a lot in the temple. And I don't remember I know that my Grandpa Shank was very committed to the gospel, but I don't remember anything about it. So